Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving and discussing the hot topic that affects us all, the housing market in 2025. Whether you're a homeowner, a hopeful buyer, a savvy investor, or just someone wondering if rent will ever stop feeling like a second mortgage, this one's for you. Big changes could be on the horizon, and they're tied to policy shifts that could reshape real estate as we know it. From zoning laws to tax incentives, from affordable housing to homelessness solutions, there's a lot to unpack. We've broken it down into 5 key areas to keep things manageable because let's face it, the housing market can feel more overwhelming than choosing paint colors for a new home. Let's jump in. Number 1, chasing the dream. The push for home ownership. Home ownership has long been the cornerstone of the American dream. Owning a home is like winning a little slice of freedom. You get to paint the walls any color you want, but you're also the one responsible when the roof leaks. Policies that aim to make it easier for first-time homebuyers could make a comeback. Think lower mortgage rates, expanded loan options, and reduced barriers to entry. On the surface, it sounds like the perfect solution for young families, recent graduates, or anyone tired of paying rent to a landlord who's probably vacationing in the Bahamas. But here's where it gets tricky. Easier access to home loans could create a surge of new buyers, all competing for the same limited number of homes. Picture this. It's like opening the gates to an all-you-can-eat buffet when there are only 2 trays of lasagna left. Chaos. The real issue isn't just helping people buy homes, it's making sure there are enough homes to buy. Without addressing the supply side of the equation, we could end up driving prices even higher, making affordability an even bigger challenge for many families. And let's not forget the ripple effects. Overheated markets can push buyers into areas with less infrastructure or fewer services, creating new challenges for those communities. So, while the dream of homeownership is worth chasing, the policies behind it need to be balanced and well thought out. Number 2, cutting red tape, building faster. Without losing sight of the details, let's talk about regulations. While they're essential for safety and community planning, some of them can feel more cumbersome than a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle with no corner pieces. Streamlining these regulations could allow developers to build homes more quickly and at lower costs. This could mean fewer zoning restrictions, faster environmental reviews, and a more straightforward approval process for new projects. Imagine a world where construction doesn't feel like it takes longer than the lifespan of your average goldfish. Developers could move quickly, creating more homes and potentially easing the supply crunch. Sounds great, right? But hold on, there's a fine line between speeding things up and cutting corners. Rapid growth without proper planning can lead to neighborhoods that feel crowded, under-resourced, or worse, like they were designed by a committee of people who never actually visited the area. Schools, roads, and utilities need to keep pace with development to avoid turning thriving communities into logistical nightmares. Smart growth is the name of the game. The goal? Build faster but with thoughtfulness, ensuring that communities grow in ways that benefit everyone, not just developers looking for a quick profit. Number 3, tax incentives, the double-edged sword. Tax breaks, the magical words that can turn even the most reluctant developer into a housing enthusiast. Offering incentives to builders could encourage new projects, from affordable housing developments to converting empty office buildings into apartments. But let's get real. Tax breaks are only as effective as their implementation. If they're structured well, they can increase housing options and make the market more competitive, potentially driving down prices. However, if developers use these breaks to focus solely on high-end properties, the average buyer might be left out in the cold, literally if heating costs keep rising. It's like offering discounts on yachts when most people are still saving for a kayak. To make these incentives work, clear rules and oversight are essential. The goal should be to create housing that serves the needs of diverse communities, not just those who can afford penthouse views and rooftop pools. And let's not forget the potential for repurposing underutilized spaces. Turning empty office buildings into homes could breathe new life into urban centers while addressing housing shortages. It's a win-win, provided, of course, that these conversions are accessible to more than just a select few. Number 4, private sector partnerships. A new frontier or more of the same? Public-private partnerships could play a significant role in the housing market's future. By teaming up with private companies, governments can fund and build transitional housing projects or long-term affordable solutions. The private sector brings innovation and efficiency to the table, but let's not ignore the elephant in the room: profit. Developers need to see returns on their investments, and that can sometimes mean focusing on luxury projects instead of affordable housing. It's a delicate balance. Encouraging private developers to participate in affordable housing initiatives is like convincing a teenager to eat their vegetables. You need the right mix of incentives and accountability. When done right, these partnerships could create diverse housing options that meet the needs of various income levels. But if we're not careful, we might end up with more homes that look good on paper, but don't actually serve the communities they're meant to help. Number 5, addressing homelessness. Solutions with heart and smarts. Homelessness is one of the most pressing issues facing our communities, and innovative solutions could make a real difference. One idea gaining traction is transforming vacant federal buildings into affordable housing. It's like an extreme makeover government edition, taking spaces that have outlived their original purpose and giving them a new lease on life. Another approach involves linking affordable housing programs to job training initiatives. Imagine offering stable housing to individuals completing vocational training or working in public service. It's a win-win. People gain the stability they need to rebuild their lives while contributing to the community. Programs like these need careful planning, oversight, and funding to succeed. They're not just about providing shelter, they're about creating opportunities for people to thrive. And let's face it, helping people get back on their feet benefits everyone. Of course, expanding existing programs like Section 8 could also play a role. These initiatives help lower income families find homes in better neighborhoods, but they require robust oversight to ensure they're making the intended impact. Finally, this leads us to the question on everyone's mind. Will housing prices finally go down? The million-dollar question, or should we say the $300,000 question, depending on your market, is whether these changes will finally bring some relief to housing prices. The answer, unfortunately, is as complicated as assembling flat pack furniture without the instructions. Policies that increase housing supply and reduce costs for developers could help, but they need to be carefully balanced to avoid unintended consequences. For example, while easier access to loans might help first-time buyers, it could also create more competition in an already tight market, driving prices up. Similarly, tax incentives and streamlined regulations could boost supply, but only if they're designed to prioritize affordability. The key is creating a balanced approach that addresses both supply and demand while keeping communities in mind. If we can get that right, we might finally see some stability in the market. Let's conclude with insights on how to navigate the market. Now, while we wait to see how these potential changes unfold, here are a few tips for navigating the current housing market. For buyers, stay patient and informed. Work with experts who understand local market trends to find the best opportunities for your budget. For sellers, timing is everything. Keep an eye on market conditions and be ready to adapt your strategy. For investors, look for opportunities in areas benefiting from new incentives or regulatory changes. What do you think about these potential changes to the housing market? Are they the key to solving the crisis? or do they raise more questions than answers? Share your thoughts, experiences, or predictions in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights. Thanks so much for watching. Here's to a housing market that's accessible, stable, and full of possibilities.